kids, in this video I am going to take up the chapter compound interest. Now you will say, ma'am, what do you mean by compound interest? I'll teach you what is compound interest, but before that let's understand few terms. The first term is principal. What do you mean by principal? Principal is the sum which has been borrowed or which has been lent. Say for example, I have borrowed 1000 rupees from my friend. I have borrowed money, so that becomes the principal for me. Okay. Now if I have borrowed something, she is helping me utilize that money. So I have to give her something on whatever she has given it to me. So the money or the income which I give it to her, that is called as the interest. So interest is the income which a person earns when he or she has lended out of money to anyone. Okay. Then comes the word rate. Rate is generally calculated per annum. That's why it is written as rate is, say for example, 7% per annum. That means every yearly it has been calculated on a yearly basis. Okay. Then comes the word amount. What do you mean by amount? Say I borrowed 1000 rupees from her. So I borrowed it for 2 years. After 2 years, I have to pay her the principal, which is 1000 rupees plus the interest. So that becomes the amount which I have to pay it to my friend. So we can say that amount is principal plus interest. Okay. Now, what is the difference between simple interest and compound interest? Let's take up an example. Say for example, the principal borrowed is 1000 rupees. Okay. Rate is say 5% per annum and time is for 2 years. Okay. As per simple interest. Okay. As per simple interest, how do you find the simple interest? It is interest is principal into rate into time upon 100. Right. So what is the principal? 1000 rupees. Rate is 5%. Time is 2 years over 100. 0, 0 cut. 5 2s are 10. 10 10s are 100. That means after 2 years, I am going to get interest 100 rupees. After 2 years. So that means every year, for the first year also, I am going to get the interest which is half of this, which is 50 rupees. Because this interest I have earned in 2 years. Okay, so for 1 year it would be 50 rupees. So in simple interest, the interest will always remain the same every year. Okay, now let's come to compound interest. If I want to find it out in compound interest, so as per compound interest, first let's find the interest for the first year. It is P into R into T upon 100. Principal is 1000 into 5 into time over here. Since we are calculating on a yearly basis, I will take time as 1 year upon 100, which is 50 rupees. Okay, so this is the interest and the principal is 1000. So what is the amount for the first year? It is principal plus interest, which is 1000 rupees plus 50 rupees, which is 1050 rupees. This is the amount for the first year. For the second year, this amount will change to my principal. So the amount for the previous year becomes the principal for my current year. Okay. So for second year, my principal is 1050 rupees. Okay. Interest is same. P into R into T over 100. Principal is 1050 into rate is 5 into 1 upon 100. 0 0 cut. 5 2s are. So it is 52.5. See here, first year the interest was 50 rupees. Second year the interest is 52.50 paise. That means every year the compound interest keeps on increasing. And what is the main reason for the compound interest to keep on increasing? Because for the second year, the principal is based on the amount for the previous year. That was not in the case of simple interest. Generally, money lenders They follow this pattern. They will borrow money on simple interest and lend it at compound interest. So what? They are earning money without they investing anything, right? Are you clear with the difference between simple interest and compound interest? Come on, let's do few questions from exercise 2A. We'll follow the same pattern. For compound interest, we are going to follow the formula P into R into T upon 100, and amount is principal plus interest. Now exercise second A is based on finding compound interest and amount without using any formula. Okay, come on, let's do it. Yes kids, let's do question number 2. The first sum from this exercise. Rohit borrows rupees 62,500. Borrows, so what that mean? It means it is the principal. Principal is 62,500. From Arun, he borrows it from Arun for 2 years. So time is 2 years. At 10% per annum. Rate is 10% per annum. Okay. In simple interest. So Rohit is borrowing from Arun this amount for 2 years at this much percent at simple interest. Okay. Then what does he do? He immediately lends out this money to Kunal. I told you how the money lenders work. They work on this principle only. So whatever amount he borrowed from Arun, he lent that amount to Kunal at 10% for the same period. But over here, he lend it out on a compound interest, which is compounded annually. Compounded annually means every year the compound interest is being calculated. Okay, come on. You have to find Rohit's profit in the transaction at the end of 2 years. So let's first find the simple interest because he borrowed it at simple interest. So interest is P into R into T upon 100, right? Which would be 62,500 into 10 into 2 upon 100. 0, 0 cut. Now 62, 5 2s are 10, 1, 5 are 12 and 1 0. So this is the interest that he is going to get after 2 years. Okay. Now let's find for compound interest. Compound interest for the first year. So same, I is equal to the same principal, percent, rate is same, which is 10%, and here whenever we are calculating compound interest, we are going to find it on a yearly basis. So here we'll take here as 1 upon 100. So here the interest is 6250. Okay, so what is the amount? Amount would be principal plus interest, which is equal to 68,750. This is the amount for the first year. That will become the principal for the second year. So compound interest for the second year, principal over here would be 68,750. So find the interest. It is 68,750 into 10 into 1 upon 100. Interest is 6875. Correct? Now what is the compound interest for both the years? Compound interest for both the years means for the first year it is this, for the second year it is this. We have to add up both to tell what is the total compound interest earned. Okay? So this is 6250 plus 6875, which will come to 5. 7 plus 5, 12, 1, 9. 9 plus 2, 11, 1, 13. This is the compound interest for the 2 years. And what is the simple interest? It is 12,500. So don't you tell me, did he get a profit or was it a gain or was it a loss for him? Obviously, he has to pay only 12,500, but he is getting 13,125. So what is Rohit's profit? So Rohit's profit would be 13,125 rupees minus 12,500 rupees. 256 That's it. 625 is Rohit's profit at the end of 2 years. I hope it's clear. Come on, let's go to the next question. Yes, let's go to question number 3. A man invests 10,000 rupees for 3 years. So what is he investing? 10,000. What is that? It is the principal. For 3 years. Time is 3 years. At a certain rate of interest. You don't know the rate of interest. Okay. Compounded annually. That means you have to find the compound interest at the end of each year. At the end of 1 year, it amounts to 11,200 rupees. So amount is given as rupees 11,200 at the end of 1 year. So principal was 10,000, amount is 11,200. So what you can find? You can find the compound interest. Why? Because amount is principal plus interest. So 11,200 is equal to 10,000 plus interest. So interest is 11,200 minus 10,000, which would be 1,200 rupees. Okay. Now, what are you supposed to find? You have to find the rate of interest. Just use a simple formula. What is the formula? Interest is P into R into T upon 100. Right? Interest you got as 1,200 rupees is equal to principal is 10,000. Rate you need to find out and time you are going to take for 1 year. Because this is the interest for 1 year upon 100. 0, 0, 0, 0 cut. So 1,200 is equal to 100 R. So R is 1,200 divided by 100. So it is 12% per annum. Clear? Understood? We are just following the formula. Next, interest accrued in the second year. What do you mean by interest accrued? Now every year you are calculating the interest since it is compounded annually. In the second year, what interest you have to find out which is not been paid. So interest accrued means interest which is outstanding, which we have to pay, we haven't paid yet. Okay. So first year, what was the amount? 11,200. That will become the principal for the second year. So for compound interest for second year, principal is 11,200. Rate you got it as 12% per annum and time you will take as 1 year. Okay. So interest is 11,200 into 12 into 1 upon 100. 0, 0 cancel. So interest you will get as 112 times 12. 112 times 12. Come on, calculate it. It is coming to 1,344. Okay, this is the amount. So the question was interest accrued in the second year. What is the interest accrued in the second year? It is 1,344. That much interest we have to pay. Okay. Now the third part. Find the amount at the end of the third year. So that means you have to find the principal for the third year. How do you find the principal for the third year? By finding the amount. So amount is principal plus interest, which is equal to 44,521. Okay. Now for the third year, find the interest. Interest is 12,544 because that becomes the principal. Rate is 12% into 1 upon 100. Come on, calculate it. 12544 times 12. Answer is 1,505.28 rupees. Okay. What is the amount at the end of third year? So amount is principal plus interest. What was the principal? 12,544 plus 1,505.28. So after calculation, you will get the answer as 14049.28. I hope it's clear. Yes. What did I do? First, to find the rate, I know difference between amount and principal would be the amount and principal would be the interest. So using interest formula, I first found the rate. Then I wanted interest accrued in the second year, matlab what interest you are getting in the second year. So I found the interest for the second year. Amount at the end of the third year, taking the amount for the second year as the principal, I found the amount for the third year. Okay, is it clear? Come on, let's go to the next one. Let's do the fourth question, children. Sudhakar borrows rupees 22,500. So that becomes your principal. Principal is 22,500 at 10% per annum. Rate is 10% per annum, which is compounded annually. Every year it is being compounded. If he repays rupees 11,250 at the end of first year, so he is repaying this much at the end of the first year and he is repaying this much at the end of the second year. Okay, you have to find the amount of loan outstanding against him at the end of third year. So first let's find the interest. Since he is repaying at the end of first year, you will take the time to be 1. So I is equal to 22,500 into 10 into 1 upon 100. So interest is 2250. Okay. What is the amount? Amount would be principal plus interest, right? Which is equal to 750 for 24,750. Okay. This is the amount that he should pay. But how much he is paying at the end of 1 year? It is only 11,250. So what is the amount being balanced? Amount balance would be 24,750 minus 11,250. That means 13,500 is the balance which he has still to pay. Okay. So for the second year, this will become the principal. Okay. Now let's go to the second part. Second year. So for the second year, what is the principal? Principal is 13,500. Now let's find the interest. 13,500 into 10 again for 1 year upon 100. So the interest is 1350. What is the amount? Amount is principal plus interest. Principal is 13,500 plus 1350. So answer is 14,850. And how much did he pay? He paid 12,550. So amount, what is the amount still balance? Amount balance is 12,550. Sorry, my bad. 14,850 minus 12,550. 0032. 2,300 he still needs to pay. So that will become the principal for the third year. You have to find the amount at the end of the third year. So first find the interest. Interest is principal rate into 1 upon 100, which is 230 rupees. Now what is the amount at the end of the third year? Amount is principal, which is 2,300 plus interest 230, which is equal to 2,530. This is the amount still outstanding at the end of the third year. I hope it's clear. Go step by step. You will not make mistake. Go first find for the first year, then second year. Understand the question. If this much amount is repaid, so that has to be deducted, right? Okay, let's go to the next one. Let's do question number 6, children. Let's read the question. Calculate the amount of rupees 30,000 at the end of 2 years, 4 months, compounded annually at 10% per annum. So what is the principal? You have to calculate the amount. So principal is 30,000 rupees. Rate is 10% per annum and time is 2 years, 4 months. Okay, let's do step by step. Let's find for the first year. First year, the interest would be 30,000 principal into rate, time is you are taking 1 year upon 100, which is 3000 rupees. Okay, so what is the amount? Amount is principal plus interest. Principal is 30,000 plus 3000, which is rupees 33,000 rupees. This is the amount for the first year. Now let's go to the second year. This will become the principal 33,000, right? Now find the interest. Interest is principal into rate, which is 10 into 1 upon 100, which is 3,300 rupees. Okay, so what is the amount? Amount is principal plus interest, which is 36,300 is the amount for the second year. Now you have to find 2 years 4 months. Okay, now we have to calculate for 4 months. So compound interest for 4 months. Always interest is calculated per annum. Okay, so I is equal to P. What would the P be? 36,300. Rate is 10% into 4 months. Always it is yearly basis. How do you write 4 months? So it is 4 upon 12. Correct? This is how you write it. Now upon 100 is also there. So 100 into this. Is it clear? So 2 zeros cut. 4 3s are 3 1 2 1. So it is 1210 the interest. You have to find the amount. So amount would be 36,300 principal plus interest, which is 1210. 10573. So amount is 37,510. I hope it's clear. Come on, let's go to the next one. Let's go to question number 9. Calculate the amount and the compound interest on rupees 25,000. So principal is 25,000 rupees for 3 years. Time is 3 years, which is compounded annually. The rates of interest for the successive years. What do you mean by successive years? Successive years means, for example, right now we are at 2025. So 25, 26, 27. So for 2025, the rate is 8%. For 26, it is 9%. For 27, it is 10%. Okay. Let's calculate the amount and the compound interest. So let's take for the first year. What is the interest? Interest is principal. Rate is 8% for the first year. Time you will take 1 year upon 100. ₹2,000. So what is the amount? Amount is 25,000 plus 2,000, which is rupees 27,000. This is for the first year. Okay. Come on, now let's go to the second year. The principal is 27,000, right? Come on, let's find the interest. I is equal to 27,000. What is the rate for the second year? 9% into 1 upon 100. 6, 9 2s are 18. Okay. So what is the amount? Amount would be 27,000 plus 2430, which would be 430, 29,430. Okay. Now let's go for the third year. Third year, the rate is 10%. So let's find the interest. Interest is principal is 29,430. 10% into 1 upon 100. 0 cut, 0 cut. It is 29,043. What is the amount? Amount is 29,000 principal plus interest, which is 37323. 32,373. That is the amount for the third year. You have to find the compound interest. So simple way to find compound interest, you know it is amount minus principal. So amount you will take as 32,373 minus what was the initial principal? It was 25,000. So subtract 25,000. So answer is 7373. That is the compound interest at the end of third year. Okay, come on, let's go to the next one. Yes kids, let's go to the next question. Question number 10, it is important. Peter invested 2,40,000 rupees for 2 years at 10%. So what is the principal? Principal is 2,40,000 rupees. Time is 2 years and rate is 10% per annum. Okay, this information is given to you and it is compounded annually. If 20% of the accrued interest means whatever interest he has to pay, out of that 20% at the end of each year is deducted as income tax. So whatever interest he has to pay, from that 20% is deducted as income tax, and that would you have to find the balance after deducting this. Okay, let's do for first year. For the first year, the interest is 2,40,000 principal. Time we will take 1 year. Rate is 10% upon 100, which is coming to 24,000 rupees. This is the interest for the first year. Now, 20% of the interest at the end of each year is deducted as income tax. So, let's first find income tax. What is income tax? It is 20% of the interest. So, it would be 4,800. This much is the income tax which he has to deduct. So, how do you find amount? Amount is principal plus interest. What is the principal? 2,40,000 rupees plus interest is 24,000, and you have to deduct income tax. Income tax you have to pay. So, deduct 4,800 rupees. That will give you the amount. Okay. So, 2,40,000 plus 24,000 is 2,64,000. 2,64,000 minus 4,800, you will get 2,59,200 rupees. This is at the end of the first year. Similarly, we have to find for the second year. So, second year, what is the principal? Second year, it is 2,59,200. Okay, let's find the interest. Interest is principal. Rate is 10%. Time is 1 upon 100. 0 zeros cancel. So, 25920. 25,920 is the interest for the second year. 20% you have to deduct as income tax. So, let's find income tax. So, income tax is 20% of 25,920. 0 0 cut, 0 0 cut. 2 2s are 4, 9 2s are 18, 5 2s are 10, 11, 5. 5,184 is the income tax. Now, children, whatever income we are earning, we have to pay some income tax to the government. So, for interest is an income for the person, he has to pay income tax. So, that amount will be deducted from his income. Now, find the amount. Amount is principal plus interest, which is 25,920 minus income tax. So, 2,59,200 plus 25,920, it will amount to 2,85,120. Subtract 5,184 from it, you will get 2,77,936. This is the amount at the end of 2 years. Are you clear? Come on, let's do the last question from this exercise. Yes kids, let's read the next question. Find the amount and the compound interest on rupees 10,000. Principal is given as 10,000 rupees for 1 year at 12% per annum. Rate is 12% per annum. Compounded half yearly. Now, time was 1 year. It is compounded half yearly. That means at the end of every 6 months, you are finding the compound interest. So, in 1 year, how many compound interest, how many times you will find the compound interest? You will find it 2 times, right? So, we will take this as 2 half years. Okay? 2 half years. Now this is the rate which is for the entire year. Since you are finding it half yearly, what does it mean? You have to find for the half of the year. So what is half of 12? It would be 6% for half year. These two things are important whenever you are compounding it at half year. Okay, come on, let's solve the sums now. So for the first half, not for 1 year, for the first half interest is 10,000 rupees, rate is 6%, time you will take it as 1 upon 100, 0 0 cut, so it is 600 rupees. What is the amount? Amount is principal plus interest, so 10,000 rupees plus 600, which will be rupees 10,600. Yes, is it clear? Come on, now let's find for the second half. What is the principal? Principal would be 10,600. So interest is principal. What is the rate? 6% and 1/2 of 100. 0 0 cut, 6 6 are 36, 3 6. So what is the amount? Amount is principal plus interest. So 10,600 rupees plus 636, 6 3 12 1 1, 11,236. Now what you have to find the amount? So amount is 11,236. Now find the compound interest. How did I tell you? Compound interest is amount minus principal. So amount is 11236, and what was the initial principal? It was 10,000 rupees. So the compound interest is 1,236. Whenever you are finding half yearly, you will divide the rate, and in 1 year there are 2 half years. I hope it's clear. So we'll end this exercise over here, and please stay connected for my next part. Thank you for watching.